Well, Ivan Gold joins us. He's an Oakland defense attorney, and you got to know Michael during the molestation trial.
Yes.
Okay, we know what they're looking for, Ivan, but what do we know or think we know about what Dr. Murray has admitted, what he did give to Michael Jackson?
Dr. Murray has told the police that he did administer propofol to Michael Jackson. That's a very important revelation. If that drug turns up in the toxicology report, and we think it will, then the issue is, was that involuntary manslaughter? And there's another allegation or report from sources that Dr. Murray gave Michael Jackson propofol, fell asleep, woke up and found Jackson dead, called his office. They went into his storage room, took out drugs in anticipation of a police raid, and then hours later called the police, told the police that he just found Michael Jackson, and he tried to revive him. Hours later, he lied about when he called the police. He lied about the fact that he just had given Michael Jackson CPR, and this could be obstruction of justice, a cover-up, involuntary manslaughter. But the issue is, can they prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this propofol killed Michael Jackson? Can they prove that? We already know he gave that to Michael Jackson, but did it cause his death? Jackson was taking other drugs. Perhaps those other drugs in combination with propofol could have caused his death. To have a criminal charge of involuntary manslaughter, it's a high threshold. It'll be difficult to prove. However, clearly Dr. Murray was not licensed to administer level 1 through 4 drugs in California. He was a cardiologist, not an anesthesiologist. He was administering propofol so Michael Jackson could go to sleep, and when Michael Jackson wanted to wake up, an alarm clock, so to speak, he would tell Dr. Murray before he was given propofol to stop the drip. This is medical malpractice. This is outrageous behavior, and if it caused Michael Jackson's death, the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office has to make a choice, a decision. Will they charge him with involuntary manslaughter? This will be a high-profile case, a fiasco. Do they want that? Can they prove it? Could they lose? I say Dr. Murray will lose his license. He'll be charged with various criminal acts, unlawfully dispensing dangerous medication, taking drugs across state lines to administer to a patient, and other acts. Also, witnesses may be given immunity. They can testify against Dr. Murray, and at the end of the day, he probably won't go to prison, but Michael Jackson's death will stand for the fact that these celebrity doctors have to slow down.
Okay, so you think they've got a case here, obviously. They've done several raids throughout the last couple of weeks. When do you see an arrest happening? That's
a good question. If Dr. Murray had not cooperated with police, he's already given 2 interviews, he is supposed to give a 3rd, he would be in custody now. When that toxicology report comes out, they will make a decision. 3 to 4 days after that report comes out, the DA's office has to make a choice. What charges will they charge him with? He will get arrested unless there is no propofol in that toxicology report. What if that happens? Or if it's so de minimis or so minimal, they can't prove it. So it's still up in the air.
You know, there's all kinds of very emotional debates, as you know. We've heard LaToya Jackson, his sister, saying, hey, this should be a murder investigation. Do you think, Ivan, doctors have special status when it comes to homicide investigations?
They do. Of course they do. It's difficult to prosecute a doctor, like it's difficult to prosecute a police officer. But in this case, Dr. Murray was a cardiologist, not an anesthesiologist, and though Michael Jackson had a history of using propofol to go to sleep, he had gotten it on a previous tour in 1996 from an anesthesiologist. Dr. Murray was not licensed to prescribe level 1 through 4 drugs in California. That is suspicious. Basically, Dr. Murray's job was to dispense drugs to Michael Jackson and allow him to go to sleep with propofol. I think in this case, this is an exception to the general rule, and if I were Dr. Murray, I'd be talking to a bail bondsman.
Okay, so do you think other doctors are going to be arrested in this case? Because it sounds like Michael Jackson has been looking for these drugs for years.
And there are a string of other doctors. However, they have not given statements to police. Only Dr. Murray has given statements to the police. It will be difficult to prosecute those doctors. They may be given immunity, and they may testify and share the facts about Michael's tragedy.
Just very quickly, because we're basically out of time.
Yes.
You knew the man, you got to know him a little bit, a non-legal question. What were your impressions of him?
He was frail, much smaller and much more frail than I would have thought. And what was eerie is after he was acquitted in the 2005 case, he told me, now I can go home and get some rest. And those words ring in my ears.
I bet they do. Thank you, Ivan Gold.
All right, and we'll talk to Ivan again at 5:30. And stick with KRON 4 and KRON4.com. We are waiting on Jackson's toxicology results.